Hey everybody, and welcome to the wonderful world of Alto. This is my first really real stream right now, so if you've seen anything before this, it was just a trick, and it was not to dissuade anyone from ever watching again. So to start off, just to do a brief overview of what this channel is hopefully going to be. It's not going to be audio being too loud for you to hear me, so we'll turn that down. But this channel is going to start off hopefully just being some of me messing around in some music production, mainly focused with Reason 10, as that's what I like to use and what I'm familiar with. But you know, we may get out into the weird and wild world of video game streaming, as well as some day-to-day, maybe even you know, life advice. Let's see how far this goes. But I wouldn't trust myself, so. But yeah, to start off, we're going to dive right into a fresh document. No, we do not need to save that. And yeah, so this is my little workspace setup that I like to use in Reason, and probably in future videos I'll go through how I've got this all set up, just as how I like to start things off. But uh-oh, we've already got some cat action diving in. There may be some, you know, intermittent distractions, but we'll see what happens. So yeah. I usually like to start off with just a little 8-bar phrase of something and see where the wonderful journey takes us from there. I'm going to try and keep this to about half an hour to start off with, just give myself a little challenge and see what we can come up with. And any and all feedback is appreciated. I'll try to get to any questions or concerns that people may have. And if you just want to scream at me, that'd be great. Please do that and let me know how terrible I am. It's the only way that I can become slightly less terrible. So to start off, I like to get into the world of pads. So let's see what they've got lined up for us. I'm gonna dive right into this new grain synthesizer in Reason 10. I like it. It's pretty fun to mess around with. Just like a normal sampler, but with some, you know, wild additions. Lushness. Let's see how lush this claims to be. Don't know about that. Pretty sharp, actually. It's got almost like a kazoo, like harmonium type of sound. Interesting. Starship Scott. Oh, yeah, I think we can do something with that for sure. Let me just see some of these VHS sounds. These all seem pretty, and I may be yelling right now because this is quite loud, but these all seem pretty treble heavy to me. I don't know, I'm usually on the more chill side of tracks, nothing too high energy going on over here. But I don't know, they just seem pretty hard biting. Okay, I think we could do something with that for sure. So like I said, I've got some presets just laid out here already. I usually have a hi-hat and snare just lined up in the loop, ready to go. Excuse me. Just like that. So we hit play and we see what happens. Now this movement goes a little bit too long for my liking. I like just this first half. Alright, let's record that. go ahead and quantize it, because what good is a song if it's offbeat? I don't know. Probably actually pretty good if someone knows what they're doing, so. So I like the general feel of this starting off. Still a little treble heavy to me, but I mean, I could fix that just on my own samples right here. But I do feel like this could benefit from a little mid-tone boost, so let's do that. And my apologies, I actually haven't dabbled in Reason for a couple months now, so I'm a little rusty, but you know, diving right in. What better way to learn what I'm not good at anymore? Let's just mess around, see how this sounds through. Ooh, a little guitar amplification. I do like that. That's added sort of an interesting ghosting type of effect. I don't know much terminology. I just like to throw words around. Now, what's jumping into my head is this would sound pretty brilliant with some gating effects. Maybe not that extreme, but something like that, but with a little bit more release. Now, the wonderful thing about this alligator little gator here is I can actually play the gates. So let me just find the right notes real quick, like. Man, I wish I had any sense of rhythm. Or if I'd played the actual correct notes, but you know, that would all be too easy. So I'm just gonna nudge these up so they're on the high pass right now. And add just one more in because I forgot to play it. Alright, that's really got some nice movement just to start off. Really thinking I could use some nice string stabs, so let's dive back into the old sample packs we have. And I don't have anything fun or fancy yet. It's all just the cooked in sort of presets that Reason comes with. And as I say that, I do remember that I have my own samples and patches that I've sort of worked on. But they're nothing too crazy. What I meant was I haven't bought anything flashy. I like to work with the basics, but sometimes, you know, it does help to have something a little bit above and beyond. But that's not complaining, because I do feel like the basic sound banks that Reason comes with are as useful as any DAW. You know, it just matters what you can come up with. So I've rambled enough, and let's see if I can actually do something here. man, I'm lazy and I don't like playing things twice. Or even wholly through the first time. Nah. Ooh. Go back in here using the magic of digitalization. So that's all well and good. Definitely need some low end though, so let's add a little cello. Hello, that's not where it's gonna be. It's gonna be there. Oh. So I started off with a little marcato. This might work better with some acro. Little, you know, fancy terminology there. Yeah, and these notes are gonna be too high for the old cello. So let's bring them down 2 octaves. And once again, I'm probably gonna roll some of the high end off these, just so they blend a little better. And I do like the longer little voicings on the cellos, but I think the release needed to be cut a little bit shorter just to keep it percussive. I will say that these don't really sound like they're in tune, but let's go ahead and fix that. Sound a little sharp to me, or flat, I'm not sure. It was sharp. Hey, look at that. That doesn't sound half bad. I was just messing around, but does sound a little gritty. Let me see if I can cut some of that out. Yeah, it's not really worth it. So let's go ahead and bust these together. More fancy pants technical terminology right here. Not really that technical, just, you know, I wanted to make it sound like I was doing something fancy. But we will start doing some of my old effects tricks. I do like this tape distortion compression that you can get. Really adds a punchiness to the whatever you run through here. I'm still finding this release to be a little long. I like that. And personal preference, I'm not really going for the most natural sounding instruments. I like when they actually do sound like they've been punched right out of a computer. So that's just me, and let me know if you think like it sounds. If you think it sounds like garbage. It still feels like it's missing like some major body, so I'm gonna try throwing in some bass as well. Maybe go back to the old pizzicato. Oh man, we're really mixing it up. That needs to be much lower for these bassy boys right here. A little bit too low. I feel like that's gonna step on the toes of our actual banger bass that we'll be throwing in later. That could do with a shorter release as well. And just to sort of fix up some of that sharp cutoff, I'm gonna throw a little reverb on it, but just a light touch, just like that, real light. I don't know why all these wires are sort of getting tangled here. I really wanted that to just go straight to the reverb patches, but it didn't feel like it. You know? Alright, now we're cooking with something. Not sure what. Alright, let me turn down some of the high end on this old duder though. So, just to take a step back real quick, my methodology with putting tracks together is to sort of really throw everything in one little 8-bar section and then chop it down and spread it out and really get a more movement from it. That's just what I like to do, and again, if you don't like it, yeah, have a nice day. Ooh, now do we want the fat hitter or something a little softer? I actually like this one for now, but I feel like just as with everything else, the high end makes my ears cry. All right. Goodness, isn't quantization just the best? Especially for those of us that have little to no rhythmic sense. This still is clipping a little bit, so there we go. Good. Label out. I was worried there for a minute. So I'm actually thinking of throwing this guy through another bus. Just to do some cool little well, you know, I think it's cool. Little filtering effects. Maybe throw that in a little parallel channel so we don't just have that sound. Now I could go through and modulate that for the entire song, but for now, which I would definitely do at a later date, but for now I'm just gonna throw on an old LFO and just let that get to work. Turn the rate down so it's a little less nauseating. Maybe push it out of phase. And actually turn that rate way down. Yeah, I feel like that's giving it some movement right now. Now let's get back to the old basser. So fun trick, just copy and paste what you want. And this, I believe I'm working in G right now. Actually, it's probably C since I'm throwing F's in there as well. Going crazy. That sounds like it's disgustingly too low. Come on now. So there's a lot of clipping going on right now, and my quick fix to that is just a little limiter. So that's definitely coming from this goon over here. Just need to turn him down. This should be pushed to the limit though. Everybody to the limit. Not terrible. Kind of terrible. Alright, here's where the rhythm is really gonna bite me. Not that bad. Because we have technology! Going back to these old violins, they actually sound pretty gross, so let's just turn those off. Man. Strange time for me to, be getting messages. Whoa! I just realized we're coming up on the old half an hour mark, so... let's try and wrap this up. Not the greatest of successes here, and I didn't really get into everything I wanted to, but we can chop this up a little bit. Do feel like these were a bit of a waste of time, as they usually are. So definitely to start off, we won't want the bass in there. Probably just want to start off with a little, you know, simple snare trickery and move into some interesting stuff later on. So I really feel like what's gonna give this some movement is starting off with the filter. So let's modulate this a little bit and see what happens. We'll just start with a very simple, very easy, low pass movement. I feel like this is a little bit cheating way to start a song, but I do it every time, and that's why I feel like it's cheating. 'Cause it sounds decent. And maybe just throw a little volume ramp on this as well. We want it to be almost full volume by the time that snare hits. What am I doing? What is going on here? I've done something completely wrong. I'm out of control, man. Would be nice if I tuned that bass drum. this is just rapidly gone downhill. But let's see what we got. Well, I hope you've enjoyed dabbling around with me for the first time. Not one of the better ones that I've thrown together, but hey, always room for improvement. So thank you for tuning in to Alto's World, or you know, whatever the snazzy title of this channel is going to be. Probably just Alto, because that's the name that I like to go by. Yeah, not terrible. But if I were to come back to this at some point, I'd definitely add some better transitions, like my old handy dandy noise machine here, for those sort of drop elements, just to telegraph them a little bit more. Hey, I didn't even mean to do that. But yeah, that's what we have for now, and thank you for tuning in. Have a great one. I will catch you another time.